Another thing that you can do through Expres is to look up a student's transcripts and current schedule. And there's two different ways that you can do this. You can search with their student ID number, or you can search by their name. I always prefer the name, but if you happen to know the number and you want to use that, you can click Student Advising Guide. I'm just going to use their name instead. And let's try Ian Hogg. He's one of our honor students. Well, his name's not coming up. There we go. I don't know why it didn't come up the first time. So Ian is actually the only Ian Hogg at Kennesaw State University, so he's the only list that shows up. But just to show you really quick what will happen if there are more than one, let's try another one of our honor students, Sarah Roberts. You'll get every Sarah Roberts at Kennesaw State University, whether they were in the past, present, or future. They're all going to be listed here. By future, I mean they've already been accepted, but they aren't starting yet. So they'll all be listed here. And to distinguish which Sarah you need, the easiest way that I find to do it is if you happen to know their ID number. And this is information that you have on hand. It's in the database, which I'll show you how to do everything in the database a little bit later. And it's also on all of their folders that you made for them. So as long as they are currently enrolled in the honors program, you can match them using their KSU ID number. Let's go back to Ian for now. So when you pull up an advising guide for a student, it gives you a lot of different kinds of information. The first part is just giving you basic information, very similar to the admissions guide did. But then you get something else, which the admissions guide doesn't have, which is their current schedule. So, we selected for spring 2012. So that's the semester we're looking at right now. So this is a schedule that the student currently has not done yet. Right now it's December 2011, so they're about to start doing this in the spring semester. And the reason this is nice is because a lot of times you need to make sure that students sign up for the classes they told you they're going to sign up for. So we keep a list of all of the honors classes and the number of seats are available in all those classes, and then we send out emails and tell students if they want to be in that class, they need to let us know. So they send us an email and we save them a seat in that class. And that's what SkyDrive is for. This is SkyDrive. It looks very similar to an Excel spreadsheet, and we upload our Excel spreadsheets into SkyDrive so that multiple people can interact with the spreadsheet at the same time. And Melanie will give you more information about why we color code things, what all the X's mean, all that information. But for now, the reason I'm showing it to you is to understand why we use the advising guide current schedule. So the way that I use this, let's say that I want to know if one of my students has signed up for a class yet or not. For example, let's use Ian. He was supposed to sign up for a psych class with us, Psych 1101/H1. I had him down for a seat in the class, and I'm not sure if he's registered yet or not. So I want to double check. So what I can do, if just with a quick way to do it, instead of checking the roster, I can just go right to his advising guide, pull up his current schedule, and look for the class. And sure enough, he is registered for Psych 1101/H01. So that's an easy way to use the current schedule. Is just if you have one student in particular, you need to know if they're in a certain class or not. Some other information that you can find out here, again, is the registration holds. We talked about this in the admissions guide, but it's also listed under the advising guide, which is way easier to work with because you're doing a lot here anyway. So I would use, if I need to know if the student had a hold, I would check the advising guide before I would check admissions guide. So he doesn't have any holds. If you need to check a student's priority registration time, and just to make sure that they're getting priority time, it's going to be listed here. Their beginning date for Ian was Monday, November 7th, which was the priority registration period. If you scroll a little bit further, you're getting information like Ian's major, his current GPA, the last semester he was enrolled, and then his academic history. And this is really useful because it's showing you every class Ian has taken, whether at Kennesaw or as transfer credit. And you can see here that Ian's taken a number of honors classes. Here's an example. He took a history class, and you can see that it's marked Introduction World History -H. and that's letting you know that it's an honors class. And it's the same thing for his philosophy class and his America since 1890 class. We also have his honors colloquium. Actually, this is a seminar, 2290, listed right there. And the last thing you can do on the advising guide is to look at transfer credit that a student has received. Ian has a lot of AP credit, and so this is useful if you're ever advising a student and you need to know what have they gotten credit for. I use the transfer course section a lot because I'm checking off to make sure a student has done all their necessary requirements. So here's all of his transfer courses for AP credit. If he actually transferred from another university, those courses will be listed here as well. So that's what I use my advising guide for.